Hi, welcome to my living room floor. Now, we're going to ignore the state of the surrounds. I've got yarn all over the floor because let me tell you how we've arrived at my living room floor today on a Saturday afternoon. I'm working on the Olga jacket and basically I can't find any more of the main colour. I know I bought more, but I'm struggling to find it in my stash. So what I've done is I need to organise my yarn stash. It's actually getting out of hand. So I've pulled out all of my yarn and I'm a bit shocked and horrified by what I found, to be entirely honest. Let me just show you what we are working with right now. So this is all the stuff that I've pulled out that was just in my drawers, including some whips and some scraps. And then in here is my stash proper. And this is like a lot of yarn for me. Ignore the feeders back there. This whole thing is a work in progress. My apartment is a catastrophe right now. I think that I'm going to have to dump this box out on the floor and just do what I have to do. So I have decided that I'm just going to dump it all on the floor and go to town because I am going slightly crazy. I will explain what the yarn is, what it's for, and if I've used it and finished a project, what I actually think about it. Some of this will be, ultimately the scraps that I'm not going to use for an actual big project are going to be like blanket yarn. So that's going to be made into like a crochet granny square blanket of some kind, because a lot of the stuff that's scraps is like balls that I've cracked into, right? I can't really donate it. So let's just get this over with. I honestly don't know where to start. I'll start with dumping it out on the floor. Let's start there. You see this pile right here? This is everything I have. I have left kind of some stuff in the box. There's some DPNs, some packets of DPNs that I just keep there because I very rarely, if ever, use them, but they're good to have on hand. Fern is inspecting everything, so that's really good. We have a cat inspector, so that's what we want. And there's some cedar blocks and stuff in there. I've got some lavender sachets in here that I can put in stuff, and I've got these 8 jumbo Ziploc bags so I can actually store stuff. I'm thinking that I'm going to store based on purpose. So the stuff that's going to end up in a blanket or is just scrap, I'm going to put together. And then I'll put the stuff that's actually for projects towards the top in order of the things that I'm working on. So and stuff that's going to be in the future, I will put down the bottom as well. My cat is starting to chew on yarn. So Fernie, is this good? Is this enriching? She likes to be involved. So Fern is going to be my assistant today. Shall we get started? Say hello to the people, Fernie. She's not too interested. Okay, down you go. Let's just get started. Right, first things first. We have here some Rowan Kid Classic in the colour Nude. This is left over from my porcelain sweater. This yarn and the chocolate brown, which is somewhere here. I'm going to dig it up in a second. This is leftovers from the porcelain sweater. I honestly have enough here that I could make one in the reverse colorway that I did, because I got this yarn as a wholesale. My mum runs a store where she sells clothing and she has access to wholesale. So buying this was nowhere near the retail price. It was quite a bit more affordable, but that being said, I probably wouldn't do it again because, as you can see, I have this is 5 full balls of the Nude and 2, maybe 3 total. There's a couple of little scrap balls in there, but maybe 3 of the chocolate brown. That would be, I feel easy enough to make a vest or something out of, but I have no immediate plans to deal with that at all. So that can go on the bottom. I'm going to whack a little lavender sachet in there just for the fun of it. I do have some cedar blocks in there. And there are moth catchers and silverfish catchers everywhere in here. I'm quite paranoid about insects, but I'm giving this a look and I'm not seeing any evidence of moths or anything. So we are okay. In terms of what I thought about the yarn itself, I really, really liked it. I believe it's a mix of wool and mohair, and I can wear it next to skin pretty easily. It's obviously on the more expensive side, and if you are sensitive to mohair, which I tend not to be, I do find mohair a little bit scratchy, but not itchy, if that makes sense. So I can wear it once I warm up and it's close to skin. I'm a-okay. But I really liked this yarn. I found it easy to work with. There were quite a few manufacturer's knots from memory, which I wasn't too impressed with given the price tag on the Rowan Kid Classic typically. I would expect fewer manufacturer's knots for the price that you pay retail for these. So that is my take on those. However, if you like the colours and you're into it, I'd give it a feel first. It does feel, let's pull this out. Look, it's a little bit rustic, but I don't find it particularly itchy. If you were wearing a t-shirt under or something, you would be totally fine. But again, if you have very itchy skin, if you're very sensitive to mohair, I would probably steer clear. Fernie, the lavender is not for you to play with. Sorry, my dear. This, I don't even know what this is. I kind of suspect it's acrylic of some kind from when I was crocheting. That is going to be blanket fodder. This is also acrylic because I had to repair a sweater for someone, and this was literally the only, I went into Spotlight because that was the only thing, they needed it urgently. So I just went in and got the only colour match I could find, which was this acrylic. However, I'm now left with this bowl. So these are basically like, one's off-white and one's white. That's fine. What else have I got? I got another acrylic. This one's basically a whole ball. I'm thinking of donating these because I'm just not going to use acrylic, but those can go together. Another acrylic. I'm now kind of remembering what I got this for. It was for, I was going to make like a crochet plant in a pot. I was really into, at the start of my fibre arts journey, if you will, I was really into like amigurumi, and that was kind of what was motivating me. I rapidly pivoted to garments and wanting to work with garments more, but yeah, this kind of just fell by the wayside. Again, that might be better off going to a charity shop. I will keep those all together. This is a random blue merino. This is Fiddlesticks Pepin 10 ply fine merino superwash. This I think can probably be blanket fodder. That's fine. This I bought because I was going to do the duck for the loon sweater in the knit along by Knit Them. I was originally going to do the mallard duck, but I ultimately decided that this was going to be too complicated to do, and I didn't feel like doing duplicate stitching, so I stuck with the classic loon and didn't end up needing this, but this is fine for blanket. I'm going to have a donate or question mark pile and then a blanket pile. A blanket pile can go over here. I have Fernie just on a scratching post in front of me, staring down at me, and it is a little bit frightening. So we are in danger of me being pounced on and murdered brutally live on camera. So that's nice. This is, I mean, it's been caked up for a long time, so that sucks. This is leftover Cascade 220 from my Vilma top that I made by Gregoria Fibers. I love Cascade 220. I just bought a bit too much of it. This is like probably half of a hank. That's definitely fine for a blanket or maybe even colourwork. So I'll put that in the blanket pile. I love Cascade 220. I think it's really great. It's quite soft next to skin, but it also has that kind of rustic feel. I do not buy superwash anymore though, when I'm knitting for myself. Excuse me, the blinds are making a lot of noise. I'm gonna go stop that because it's really annoying. Kind of remembered what I was talking about. Superwash. I don't buy superwash anymore unless it's for someone who I know is going to find it easier for superwash. Say, for example, parents, like you don't want them to have to hand wash children's garments typically. I like the more rustic feel, like Peer Gynt, I'm really enjoying working with. Cascade 220 is another one that I really like. Yeah, so superwash is not really on my radar anymore, and neither is acrylic. I simply will not buy acrylic. I like to work only with natural fibers because I get very sweaty, and I feel like polyester and acrylic not breathable. I acknowledge the perspective of being environmentally aware in buying natural fibers is a privileged position. Don't get me wrong, like I don't have an abundance of money to be buying really fancy yarn, but I'm in a position where I can do my hobby without buying acrylic. So I choose to do so. If you like using superwash and acrylic, that's great. And I love that for you. And I don't really feel like on an individual level, someone using acrylic yarn for their craft is going to be the thing that destroys the environment forever. We've got plenty of corporations who are doing that all on their own. There's no judgment from me. It's my personal preference. Okay, this is a full 10 ball bag of Rowan Kid Silk Haze in this beautiful blue, it's Bluebell, and this is a beautiful yarn. You can see the color here. It is this lovely, like, not quite royal blue, but I love this color. This was another one I got bulk wholesale priced. I definitely intend on using this, probably held double with something, maybe Cascade 220 for a cable sweater. I really want a blue cable sweater. So I do have something in mind for that one, but it's not on the immediate list. So I'm going to put that kind of down the bottom as well. Kid Silk Haze is pretty much the only pure mohair that I've knit with so far. When I say pure mohair, I mean like a lace weight mohair Kid Silk. The Rowan Kid Silk Haze is, let's look at the fiber composition, 70% mohair, 30% silk. I find it to be very soft. It's a little bit prickly right on skin, but again, it's not itchy, just scratchy. And I feel like I really enjoy working with it. I don't really have any complaints. I will say that it comes off a lot. There's a lot of fibers. So say I made my Dagmar jacket, held double with Kid Silk Haze, and the fibers from the mohair silk do get on everything. So if you're wearing a black shirt underneath and that sweater is like a purple color, it is obvious. It looks like you have had a purple cat crawling all over you for the last 10 hours. So just a heads up that this does release fluff a lot, at least while you're knitting with it and in the immediate aftermath of blocking. I cannot vouch for how it wears because I literally just finished my Dagmar, so I can't advise on how it wears over time and if that decreases, but so far that's been my experience. Please appreciate my My Chemical Romance t-shirt, by the way. I've had this one since I was about 15 years old. I'm 31 now, so it's going pretty well and I still love them. Hopefully I'm going to see them in July, so my former and current emos, please sound off in the comments and tell me I'm not alone. We're just getting into it. Drops Nepal, left over from my step-by-step sweater, which was the first thing I ever knit. And I immediately frogged and donated all of it because I hated Drops Nepal. This one is in like a dark purple color. It's wool and alpaca. This yarn is the itchiest thing I've ever had in my vicinity. I cannot stand it. This is the hill that I will die on, that I despise Drops Nepal. Sorry if someone from Drops who like invented Drops Nepal is watching this right now. I'm sure you're a lovely person. This yarn sucks. People recommend this so much and I can't handle it. I think I may be allergic to alpaca. Haven't tried knitting with alpaca since, so I cannot vouch for that, but this is like unwearable for me. That being said, I'm not going to put a blanket right next to my skin in winter. It'll be fine in a blanket. Blanket pile, sure. I know that's not a popular opinion. People like Drops Nepal. I'm not a fan. More random acrylic pile. We got cotton from Fiddlesticks of some kind. It may be Finch, but I'm probably wrong. Oh no, it's Wren. It'll be Wren. Left over from my second Spectacle stripe overload polo. This is fine. I haven't blocked it yet. I still haven't blocked it and I finished it like 3 months ago. So I cannot vouch for if this color bleeds. However, the Drops Muscat does bleed. Heads up. Probably this isn't blanket material. I'd probably have to hold it double if I was making it into a blanket, but I'm just going to sort all of the cotton yarns into one pile. I have, yeah, as you can see, Fern's climbing down the scratching post. Awesome. Are you proud of yourself? That was actually pretty impressive. All my cotton leftovers, this is Wren as well, leftover from a baby blanket I made. I'm just going to chuck all that in a pile over there. I've got more Wren. This is almost certainly acrylic, and I believe it's the acrylic that I bought initially to like learn how to knit and purl. And I did like a massive swatch of this before I started my step-by-step sweater. So that's a blast from the past. This is like a tiny amount of drops Nepal. I don't see why that can't go in a blanket as well. We've got more Wren from Fiddlesticks. That's also going in the cotton pile. 3.5 balls of Lang Yawol Superwash sock yarn. This is fine. I can totally make something out of this. I'm not in a sock kind of mood. In fact, I kind of hated my experience knitting with my socks. I made these to make the spicy socks by Stone Knits for my dad. And I had a hell of a time with the sizing on that pattern. Like, I think maybe this yarn was off gauge or something because the socks didn't fit him in the end. They fit my partner, who's the same shoe size, incidentally, but whatever. My stepmom's enjoying the spicy socks that I made. These can just go. I'm gonna have a separate sock yarn pile. I'm pretty sure that this and like 2 other balls are the only sock yarn that I have. I'm not really a sock knitter, at least not yet. I haven't got the knack for it, and I'm not that passionate about socks, so I don't really have much sock yarn. That can just go over there. Ugh. I'm just winding this up. I'm pretty sure that this is Bendigo Woolen Mills Classic 8-ply, which I quite like. I made a crochet vest out of this. And that's when I realized that crochet was for garments was not really it for me. But yeah, I didn't have any complaints about the yarn. It worked out really bulky, but that's obviously because it was a crochet garment, right? So like not much you can do about that one. But anyway, that's that one. That's a gimme for the blanket pile. There is so much here. I'm actually like overwhelmed. Okay. I'm just gonna have a bin section as well because I've got these tiny little balls. I know some people save their scraps, but I'm not going to save bits of yarn that are that long. Don't hate me. I'm sorry. I'm overwhelmed already. This is acrylic. I am going to then have this tote bags be an acrylic bag where I put all my acrylic, and that's just where it's going to live off to the side for now. And that's just where the acrylic's gonna live until I work out what I'm doing with that. Got like a bunch of leftover Estate 8-ply from Morris & Sons that was from my Dagmar. My washing machine's going off, don't mind me. Multitasking. Yeah, I like working with Estate. I didn't realize it was superwash at the time that I bought it because I am apparently illiterate. To be fair to myself, I wasn't a very experienced knitter. I started this about like 6 months into my knitting journey, if you will. So fair enough. However, it didn't stretch out over much when I blocked it. I think it's because I held it together with Kid Silk Mohair, which is this one, the Anemone. I have about 4 or 5 balls of that one left. These were a great colour match. That's what they look like. The Rowan I can definitely use for something else. I'm thinking of making a poet scarf for my mum for Mother's Day. So actually I could make her one in this colour and she would probably really like that. So I may do that and there may be a good use for it. So in fact, this is going to stay out to go sort of towards the top. Do you like this? That I put this in a Ziploc bag, but I've lost my temper and ripped it open from the bottom. This is the kind of stupid shit that I do. Oh my God, what's in here? What's in here? More Drops Nepal, blanket pile. We've got Bendigo Woolen Mills Cumulo 8-ply, 100% New Zealand Perendale wool in Magnolia. This was on sale, I believe, when I bought it. I bought 3 balls of it. And I have a beanie somewhere that's been a whip for like a year here. Oh my God, look at all these scraps. Those are going in the bin, sorry. So yes, we've got a bunch of Drops Muscat. This bleeds like hell. It's mercerized cotton. So it wasn't great for garments, but just be aware that this bleeds like hell. And I'm going to be frogging my strap overload tee that I made from this because all the white basically turned pink. I was trying to play it off before like it wasn't a big deal and like it wasn't that extensive, but like it doesn't look great. So that's gonna go in the cotton pile, but it may be blanket bound. I don't know. I've got quite a bit of that actually. So let's pop it all, whoop, I'm caught on the cumulo. Cotton pile. This is what I have of this beanie. I feel like it was maybe a hipster hat by Petite Knit. I can't remember for the life of me. But I don't wear beanies, and they're also, this yarn's quite itchy next to skin. So I think that is also going in the blanket pile. And that is, okay, 3.5s. This is a fixed needle. But hey, I found out where these needle stoppers are. I was wondering where my pink ones were. So the cumulo, I think I can't be bothered frogging that right now, but that'll be frogged. Blanket pile. We have a half done sock in this Bendigo Wool & Mills sock yarn. I do have it on scrap fabric, I believe. This is just the Bendigo Wool & Mills everyday sock pattern. I'll have to look at it. It seems to be fine. This is kind of looking like it's a heel flap and gusset, but construction, but I'm like not 100% sure. But yeah, I think this is cute. I'll probably finish these at some point. I can't say it's on my radar, but I am going to put it with the sock stuff. Yeah, I can't really comment on like what the quality of it is because again, I haven't finished a project and I haven't knit it, but this is the classic multicolored sock yarn and it's this like nice sort of striped, it's clearly like a pink plied together with, I think it's a lighter pink plied together with a more electric pink, and it's cute. I can't really wear a lot of pink. I find it makes me look a bit washed out and clownish, but I'm really struggling to find a good position to address the camera in, so don't mind me. I like pink a lot, but I don't think it looks good on me, so I just make like a lot of accessories and stuff in pink. We've got Summer Stash Yarns Just Cotton in white. We've got more Fiddle 6 Wren cotton. We're just putting all the cotton in a pile. And we have one yarn of Sandiscan Sunday in colour 6062. I made a beanie out of this, an Oslo hat. I didn't like it particularly. I found it very itchy on my head. I am prone to like sensory issues and not wanting anything touching me, but so yeah, I did find the Sunday itchy on my head. I even find like a cotton cap itchy on my head though, so I'm not really sure that you can use that as any kind of like judgment on the yarn itself, but like it's fine. I have no strong feelings about Sandiscan Sunday, but I feel like since it's wool, yeah, it's non-superwash Norwegian wool. Blanket, I guess, unless I find something else to do with it. I have this Ziploc bag of mystery black yarn. I feel like it is going to be Bendigo Wool & Mills luxury A-ply, but I like don't really know. A tiny little ball of Sunday. Sorry, that's going. Actually, that'd be good for lifelines. I'll keep that one. Lifeline stuff. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to start putting the blanket yarn in a Ziploc bag. And I think if I do things like that, maybe that'll make things easier. I don't know. I don't even know what to make things easier at this point. Nice and big. And we'll just start packing stuff in a little bit of dried lavender. I bought this from online from a farm on the Mornington Peninsula. It's just like a local farm. They also do honey and stuff. So I just went online and bought it from there. And yeah, serves the purpose. I also bought some creamed honey with like strawberry in it because while I'm there, I had to get extra to make the shipping worth it. I was kind of like, well, if I'm spending money on getting this shipped, I may as well like try the honey. I love honey. I have like an actual problem with honey and butter on crumpets, in that I can't stop eating it ever. So we've got all this sort of blanket type yarn, and it would make life easier if I frogged this Oslo, or hipster or whatever it is, but I'm not going to do that right now. So that can just sort of live over here. And Fernie has gotten into the box, as you can see. That's okay, she's just helping. Hi, I had to take a break to get a glass of water and stop Fernie from chewing on yarn. And this is your PSA with cats around yarn. I know it's very cute when they play with it, but string and ribbon, cotton, yarn, that kind of stuff is extremely dangerous for cats. I have had to have a cat have surgery before because we thought she had swallowed sewing cotton. And if you don't know, that can get tangled up in their intestines. A cat swallowing something like that is a medical emergency and you should take them to the vet like immediately. So this is just like I sometimes see people on social media being like, my cat's playing with the yarn and stuff, and it like stresses me out. So please make sure you're putting that stuff away when you're not using it, and watch them if you have it out, because it is very serious. Sorry, not to preach, but like, I don't mean to get on a soapbox here, but I have seen people letting their cats play around with yarn. I'm like, if you're watching them and you're absolutely sure they're not swallowing it, that's fine. But like, that context is lacking on social media, right? So also, if your cat has swallowed something like that and you see it coming out like at the other end, do not pull it. Do not pull it. Take them to the vet. It can get tangled up in there. So, okay, I'm off my soapbox now. That's just like a PSA. Let's put this thing back on and get back to it. Right, where were we? I'm like exhausted, barely even started. Okay, I've been filming for half an hour already, for the curious. What else is in here? More estate. Okay, that can go over there as well. I could really go a cup of tea right now, but I don't want to like keep this going so long that I lose daylight and we end up just like in the dark. I might turn another light on though. One moment, please. Is that better? I don't actually know if that's better or worse, but we're here now. So found some more estate that's going in the bottom of this broken Ziploc bag for now. And we're gonna move on. What is this? More Bendigo Wool Mills. Everyday sock yarn 4-ply. Well, I clearly haven't touched this. 75% merino wool, 25% nylon. That's about 380 meters. So that is like a pair of socks there. Yeah, cool. I can't comment on what I think about it. I'm really struggling to find a normal place to be sitting in this situation, but yeah, again, can't comment on the quality, but Bendigo Wool Mills are usually pretty good. So I'll pop that in the sock yarn pile, I guess. What is in here? Oh, so this is all my like cotton for crocheting. I did make a tapestry, and this is actually for a specific one that I haven't made yet. So this is just a bunch of Fiddlesticks Pepin, I want to say. No, it's Finch 100% cotton 10-ply. So actually that might be, is this the Finch then? I wish I labelled things. And in fact, I'm going to moving forwards because this is ridiculous. So this is cotton. This is for a purpose though, so that can have its own little area. And I believe this is more of the same. Yes, this is more of the same. So this is the Finch, 100% cotton again, 10-ply. We've got this royal blue colour, the same thing. So we're gonna just pop it all. I think if I'm not mistaken, yes, this whole bag is just various colours of that. That's okay, that's for crochet, we are good. 10-ply is pretty good. That will match up with some of the merino that I have. So I can totally use that for the blanket as well. But first, the crochet project. So actually I'm going to transfer the remains of that. It's really cute what I was making. I've made one, which is like a juggling cat tapestry by, I believe it's Aiden Wells Crochet. And there's another one that are knights. I'll put a photo of them here so you know. Very, very cute. Very cute indeed. Oh, yeah, let's talk about this one. So this is a crochet cardigan that I like partially made out of Drops Air. I'm not finishing this. This was when I realized like I'm just crocheting this to look like knitting in rib. Maybe I should just knit instead. Drops Air is fine, but it gets very flat and it is an absolute nightmare to frog. So if you're trying to unravel this, it's hellish. But yeah, this is going to be unraveled, ? If I can, and repurposed for something. I was probably going to make a cloud sweater out of this for my mum because this doesn't really agree with me. It does feel quite soft in my hands, but I was sneezing like crazy crocheting with that. So I also made this crochet bag that I haven't lined. I should though, because this would be cute to use, but that's just been kept in this crochet bag, which I haven't woven in the ends for. In fact, I don't think it's even it. I just tied a knot and cut it. This was the first crochet project I ever made, which means it was the first fibre arts project that I ever made. And honestly, I did a pretty good job. I really like this bag, in fact. But, you know, Drops Air, I wouldn't buy it again, personally. I'm not a big fan of blown yarn, but if I was, I wouldn't opt for Drops Air. I'm a bit suspicious on drops, honestly. I feel like it's so cheap. How do they manage to make it that cheap? You know, I kind of feel like that's not the best sign, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know enough about it to comment further. This is just going to go in because this is just deep stash. And if you've ever frogged a blown yarn, you'll know, like, I need to have extra emotional strength on the day that I tackle that one. This is for my Stripe Overload Cardi. It's the Bendigo Wool & Meals Classic 8-ply in Lipstick Rose and Midnight Blue. This is actually coming up pretty soon, so I'll leave that one out for now. Yeah. There should be some matching mohair here too? Question mark? Okay, I found the mohair. This is Rowan Kids Silk Haze. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Same colors, they're pretty good color matches. I should keep those together though. You know what? I'm actually gonna put those in a Ziploc bag so I can actually see what I'm doing with those. So these are gonna go, the bag that I've got them in currently is also too small and it's just creating chaos. So this may not even fit. These are big balls of yarn. I think these are 400 meters each. Yes, 400 meters. That's pretty sizable. Come on, buddy. You can close. I believe in you. You're doing a great job. Come on, man. Look at that. We got, see, that's not a bad color match, you know? Not too shabby. I'm just going to tip all this out. This is ridiculous. We've got yarn for my Olga jacket, which is the Sanduscan in Natural and Tutti Frutti, which is this like colourful spots in it, and Regatta Blue. These are going to be my own Olga jacket, which is separate from the one that I'm making as a gift with the yellow, which I'll show you in a moment. I think I need to just put all of this together in one of these because this pig-in is what I'm using for my friends, and I believe it's 2016 Sunshine. It is like, this is the only ball I can find, and I know I have more. So that was like what sparked this whole thing, was like me frantically trying to find more of this. So I'm going to put all the blue. I have no idea how much Tutti Frutti I got because I got all of this together, right? So what happens is I get a yarn delivery and I get excited and just rip it open. And then I'm like, okay, cool. And then I try and close it up again and I just try and move on with my life. That's not the way this should work. So we are clear of moths and associated creatures. Lavender sachet is in. We have it all in a bag. I still haven't found any yellow though. Okay, what's here? What have we got here? We have, I know what this is. I haven't used this yet before, but this is the Drops Cotton Merino in this green color. And this I bought to make the twister tank, but I didn't get around to it this summer. I managed to do too much. So I think this can probably stay in this bag, to be honest, and I'm going to put it down the bottom because like it's coming into winter now. I mean, granted, it's 27 degrees yesterday, so not much winter, but supposedly winter exists and is on its way. Be nice if it arrived soon because it's May and it's still hot. It's not super encouraging, but I'm trying not to think about that too hard. This is leftovers from, okay, I made a vest for my stepdad out of Cleckheaton Country Naturals, and it was a Cleckheaton pattern that was terrible, by the way. So, like I had to make the smallest size to get, I think, the second to largest size. The size was so off, and this is the recommended yarn, so don't get it twisted. Like, and the gauge was correct. So I don't mean to be a hater, but every Cleckheaton pattern, which is like what, 2 I've ever tried to make, has sucked. Take from that what you will, but I don't recommend Cleckheaton. And also, this is the Cleckheaton. Actually, this isn't the Country Naturals. This is the Country 8-ply in a charcoal color. This pills like crazy. It's quite affordable and it's a bit rustic, but bobbing stuff to skin. But yeah, it's very, very pilly. That's also blanket fodder. So we're getting a nice little, there's kind of a color scheme. There's like purple, blue, black, beige. I'm not hating it. Kind of on the home stretch here, which I'm excited about. This is all a bunch of leftover Estate and Empire 8-ply from making the Squeeze Me vest by Knit Knit Goose. So I've just got this in a bunch of colours. There's like a yellow, some of the Empire as well here, and like a green. That is all I feel going to also be blanket fodder. So let's see if I can fit it in there. Kind of worried. I'm starting to fret that I simply just didn't buy enough of the yellow for the Olga, and now I'm like starting to stress out a little bit, but it's okay. We've got time. This is annoying to me because this is Cardiff cashmere. I made a poet scarf for my partner's grandmother for her birthday out of this, but I have like half a ball of it left. This is like $15 to $20 of yarn right here in my hands. So I don't know what I'm gonna make out of that. Maybe I'll have to do like a multicolored. I could buy one more ball and make another scarf, but I'm not gonna wear this color. That would wash me. Like, look at this next to me. I feel that's not my color. Would you believe I do have more than one cat? Because Fern seems to be the one that wants to take the spotlight. She wanted to get into the shower, so she was scratching at the glass door. I just let her in. She likes to drink the water from the shower floor. I don't think there's any there at the moment because it's 20 to 5 p.m. But she marches to the beat of her own drum, that one. All of this is, I think they've even put it in Ziploc bags for me. This is awesome. This is Morrison & Sons Empire, and I wasn't sure which blue I wanted to use, so I got some Estate and Empire of 2 different blues, but the color scheme I'm using for this project is the beige and this, I think it's imperial purple and a light blue. It's going to be a gift from my mum. It's going to be, I can't remember the name of the pattern, but it's the one by Other Loops that's in the Art of the Sea pattern book for the Moomins. I will put the pattern on the screen. I cannot remember it's by Other Loops. It's the flower loop. I don't know. I'll put it here. This is what it is. So I've got a whole bunch of that. You know, I'm rapidly realizing that I do too much gift knitting. So this is Clay, the main color, and the contrast purple is Imperial Purple. And then I've got to choose from Baby Blue and Freshwater. Freshwater is in the Empire and Baby Blue is in the Estate. I think knowing what I know now about the Empire, which is that it's quite fragile, the vest that I made for my friend had ended up with several holes in it for no reason that I could determine. And I had to do quite a few repairs. Well, look, we can see, this is Nyx. The grey cat is Nyx back there. She's pretty cool. She's a rescue, and those two are really good friends. We also have a third cat, by the way. His name is Cosmo, and he is currently actually living in my study because we are still working on introducing them. We've had him for about 2 weeks, but he's very shy. So he's very shy, and Fern is also very afraid of him. And Nyx is a bit territorial. So we haven't been able to do the scent swapping stuff very well just because he's so afraid. So he doesn't want to come out and spread his stank everywhere. So it's going to be a slow process. Anyway, enough about cats. But if you've been here before, you know that I always talk about cats. So if you don't like cats, this is probably not the place for you. Sorry. For me, it's I always want to hear about people's cats. It's show me photos of your pets, please. I'm begging you. Well, I'm not really a dog person, I have to say. I'm actually quite scared of them. I was bitten on the face when I was a toddler. So I'm a bit funny around dogs, but they are growing on me. It is the smaller ones that I am more afraid of. I say a Jack Russell Terrier is the one that bit me, and I'm really afraid of Jack Russells. However, a greyhound, now I know it's not super compatible with a cat, so I probably won't be able to get one anytime soon, if ever, because I always need to have cats, but I love greyhounds. They are just so beautiful. This is what we have so far of the blanket fodder. I feel like the yellow isn't going to work, and maybe if I do flowers or something, that can be an accent color. I can work with this, but it is a bit of a strange color palette that is going on now. Oh my God, I just found the rest of the yellow pea again. Thank God. We've got 3 more balls of this. Thank God. Okay. Nobody panic. We're saved. We're actually saved. I'm going to put all this in this one because this is currently on the go. I'm going to leave this out, or at least readily accessible. So if nothing else, I've achieved what I set out to achieve, right? Now, leftovers from the loon sweater. I have 1.5 balls of the Cèdre Gilead. It's this beautiful emerald green colour. And most of a ball of this natural colour Pauve Blanc, which I used as the contrast colour for the sweater. This feels too bougie to put in a blanket. I might have to incorporate this into another sweater that I make down the line. Gilead is a bit too thick for me. My preferred weight of yarn is a DK. So this is quite thick, but it is a beautiful yarn. It's so bouncy and it was a joy to knit with. It's really soft next to the skin, but still kind of woolly feeling. I love this. However, yeah, this is really expensive to buy. So I cannot say that I will be making a habit of it, just yarn to work with. But yes, this is not particularly affordable or accessible. The Knitaloon that I did, they had a sale, like a discount code for the Knitaloon. So I used that and got it ordered from France, and that was cheaper for me than buying it from a yarn store imported in Australia. So yes, was, I want to say, just under 200 Australian dollars to get, was it 6 or 7 balls of the green and 1 of the natural colour. I heard people raving about it, and like, I do get it, I'm afraid. So this is a big old ball of Bendigo Woolly Mills Luxury 8-ply in black. And I don't like this yarn. I made a whole Amy sweater out of this. Not only was this quite itchy for me, but it peeled an aggressive amount, even before blocking, as I was working on the sweater. So I did give that away. I didn't even really bother frogging it because I still had this and I really didn't like the yarn that much. But again, like, this is fine for a blanket. So this is going in the blanket pile, and I didn't put this yarn away, so let me just do that now. I'm now just like surrounded by bags of stuff. Okay, this is all unraveling. I'm reaching the point where I just no longer care. Fernie, please stop eating plastic. You're just a baby, aren't you? But you can't eat plastic. It's not good for cats. Or anyone, really. The microplastics are killing us, Fernie. I'm probably full of them already, but you're young, you have a chance. I'm gonna assume this is cotton and just chuck it in there. I don't really care at this point, if I'm being honest with you. A random ball of Rowan Summerlight 4-ply left over from, I made a tee number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and didn't like it. It looked ridiculous. I did not do a very good job either with the saddle shoulder construction. So I made it into an ivy top, and that is also no good. It's way too big for me. My gauge was obviously way off, and I just didn't realize because did I gauge swatch? No, I did, but it's just that my gauge changed mid-project. So that's really fun. If anyone knows how to unravel and get like the kinks out, I assume I have to unravel it and wash it. I don't really know how to, like, do I put it in a hank and then wash it? Because if I just have it all out, it's gonna get tangled. So I need to look that up, but this one can just go in here. I will flag though, this Summerlight 4-ply, this cobalt color runs dye like crazy. So just be aware of that. I would not advise for multiple color projects. Stick to the single color for this one because the water was cobalt blue after about 2 minutes. So this is, the balls are coming undone. This is a nightmare. This is the worst thing that's happened to anyone ever. Obviously joking. Bendigo Woolly Mills 8-ply Spring Cotton and Rich Rose. Love this pink. This is the kind of pink that I actually would wear. This is like the one thing I have that I'm not 100% sure what I would make with it. This is about 800 meters or 400 grams. Stop eating plastic. Probably not enough for like a proper sweater, but I'd like a cotton cardigan or a long sleeve blouse would be nice. But so if you have any ideas of what I can do with 800 meters of cotton yarn at 22 stitches per 10 centimeters on 4 mils. let me know. I'm open to suggestions, but for now, into the box we go. I've clearly given up on bagging things up. I'm fed up, my dudes. I can't do this anymore. We found more cotton. We've got the Just Cotton 8-ply in this red, and we've got more Ren 8-ply in this purple leftover from my second Stripe Overload polo. This is the last thing I have. Finally, we've reached the end. The Knitting for All of Cotton Merino in lavender blue. I'm making, focus please. I'm making the mixed rib cami with this. I am partway through, but it's kind of on hold because it's just like not weather relevant at the moment. And oh, there's my gauge. Wait, I just found something I've been looking for. I've been looking for this little thing. The needle, please focus. My needle thingy-majiggy that measures the needle size because it's rubbed off on some of my needles. Oh my God, I didn't even know that was in there. There is no way in hell that I'm fitting all this in this box. Oh my God, no, I can make it work. I can make it work, believe. Okay, we have kind of reached like maximum capacity, but at least I have a plan for like all of this. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I do need to just pack up the rest of this. So I'll be those are bobbins. I need to do something about this. So I'll be right back and see if I can like fix this in any way. I did have to kind of physically sit on this box to get it to close. But the only thing that I was not able to fit in was the acrylic, which is going to be donated anyway, and the crocheting cotton for the specific project, which is okay. Other than that, I have managed to keep everything in here, which is fantastic. This is like my benchmark for what I want my stash to be, right? I do not want my yarn stash to be more than I can fit in one storage box. So as we can see, I'm at capacity and I'll not be buying any more yarn. I don't know what value this video really had to you or me or the world at large, but I hope it was at least entertaining. This is just like my opinions on the stuff that I've used and the kind of things that I have coming up. And this is something that I really needed to do. So this is like more yarn than I'm comfortable with having, because when I have a lot of yarn, it does kind of feel like I have this checklist of like, these are things that I have to do. And that's kind of like how I feel in my everyday life. And I don't want to feel like that with things that I'm doing for fun. And I think just this would be a good thing to do every 6 months, just to take a stock take, move out some of the stuff that I'm not going to use, and think about what kind of things that I can do. And sometimes when things are packed away like this, you don't actually know what you have. So I hope you got some value out of this and my opinions on the yarn that I have, and just seeing kind of what I have and how I store it. I don't have anything fancy. I don't have like a pretty display. Essentially just do what works for you. I hope you found some value in this. I hope at least it was entertaining, and I will see you soon.